home builder?
So there's a couple of key things that I look for to differentiate between a quality builder, a quality production builder, and an not so great production builder. The first one, like we've talked about in a lot of these videos, is just neatness. And the way that translates, like out here, are all the seams in these panels taped? And are they taped neatly? How much damage has been done to those panels while they do the install? If you look at that window next to you, is all the weather stripping and flashing and everything on it taped off neatly like it's supposed to be? How do they do things like deck installs? Are carriage bolts properly flashed where our ledger board is going to tie to the house itself? All of that stuff counts, because if they're paying attention to the little details like that, they're probably paying attention to the rest of the build. The other thing we look at, again, is framing lumber. What lumber did they allow to be used in their house, and what lumber did they reject? So are we seeing a bunch of boards with huge bark inclusions in them, or are we looking at stuff like this where we've just got a little bit taken off of one edge and it's really no big deal?
So at what point is there a code issue versus just a substandard building issue?
Code is a funny thing. Remember, building code is the minimum standard to which things are supposed to be built. It's not the ultimate rule book that people think it is, and it's always open for interpretation. So most of the time, at this stage of the game, we're not going to find a lot of code violations, because in this case, Fisher's is out here checking on this house fairly frequently. What is going to catch people's eye that they think is not going to be code is like the spacing of actually all these studs on the exterior wall of the house. It used to be, those were 16 inches on center. Building code now, especially with this 2x6 construction, allows them to go 24 inches on center. In today's climate, with this crazy market and the supply constrained materials that we're dealing with, excuse me, it's not going to be uncommon to see this. The good thing is this is actually a 2x6 exterior wall and not a 2x4 exterior wall, so that's an indicator of a better build than what we might often see. But in this particular case, they've gone 24 inches on center on those studs. So not a code violation, but that's the kind of thing that's going to catch people's eye.